Why choose Missouri?
So, funny story, I actually did not choose Missouri. At the time, I had no idea what St. Louis was about, but it got chosen for me.
What would you say has been the most challenging thing that you've had to do?
When you're trying to keep a healthy work-life balance, I think that's probably the most challenging thing for me.
Most people think work-life balance is how do you make it 50-50? It's never going to be 50-50, right?
No.
How have you then been able to make that work-life balance? What does that look like for you?
Being a husband, being a dad, being a Marine, being a full-time student, it gets tiring. It's challenging, but the difference between who you are today and who you could be tomorrow is a change in mindset. Because unlike other things, it is very simple. We make it complicated because of our upbringing, because of what we believe in, what we believe to be true. When it's a very simple task, when it's a very simple concept, just change your mind.
Welcome everyone to Carry On Podcast. My name is Brandon and I'm your host today. Today I'm welcome with Cam Simmons. We've known each other for a little while now, right? We were junior Marines, NCOs, and now we're sitting as staff NCOs together. Before I introduce him and let him introduce himself, I want to remind you guys, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe, and then share our videos. It truly helps. All right, Cam.
Yeah.
Give me a little background about you, right? Tell me about where you're from, MOS, where you've been, everything.
Yeah, so I'm Cam Simmons. Like Brandon said, I'm originally from Georgia. You can probably see it on the hat. I've been in the Marine Corps roughly 10 years. Give a little take a few months. I had a wife and 4 kids. I met my wife back in 2018. We're still kicking here today, loving life. I'm a 0629, a transmissions chief in the Marine Corps. I was a radio chief, so literally that's all transmissions is, just all things radio. Yep.
Okay. You said real quick, you're from Georgia. What part of Georgia?
So it's a small town right outside of Augusta. It's called Thompson. I always say Augusta because people know where that is. I don't say Atlanta because everyone's like, oh, everybody's from Atlanta.
I was going to say, though, Atlanta also has a little bit of a stigma behind it.
Yeah,
you know?
No, we stay away from there.
Okay, yeah. Yeah. All right, well, then that's cool. You said you had 4 kids?
Yep, 4 kids. So my oldest is 8. I got a 6-year-old, a 4-year-old, and I just had a baby this year. And so she'll be 1 here in April. But yeah. It's 3 boys, 1 girl, and we're loving it. We're done though. We're done. That's it. We're done.
Hey, that's what everyone says, and I let you know.
Oh no, I'm done.
Unless you snip it, yeah,
we're done here. No more.
So you said your oldest is 6 years old?
8.
8 years old.
Yep.
Wow. So you were relatively young in your career when you had your first child.
Yep.
How was that?
I think I had just gotten promoted to sergeant. It wasn't that hard, man. My wife, she was super not to say she's not independent now, but she was super independent. Everything, she took care of it for me. So she's been kind of definitely my cornerstone and just my rock to be able to take care of those things so I could take care of the things I need to take care of while also being there for the family.
What's her name?
Donnell.
Darnell?
Donnell.
Donnell.
Yep.
Well, shout out to Donnell for holding down Cam,
Yeah.
the whole 12 plus years.
Yeah.
So now going into a little bit more of your service, right?
Yep.
Where have you been stationed? Right now we're in Okinawa, but.
Yep. So my first duty station was Lejeune, Camp Lejeune, North Carolina. I spent the majority of my first and second enlistment over there. And then I went out on recruiting duty in Missouri. And then after that, I went back to North Carolina. And then now I'm here in Okinawa. Okay.
How long did you spend around in each duty station?
So I'd say in North Carolina, total time probably about 6 years. And then in Missouri, I was there for 1.5 years, 2 years.
Okay. Missouri.
And then here, I've been here a little over a year.
Okay. What made you go to Missouri?
Recruiting duty. Man.
Yeah, but why choose Missouri?
So funny story, I actually did not choose Missouri. I had a bunch of friends that I came up in the Marine Corps with that was from Missouri, specifically St. Louis. And at the time, I had no idea what St. Louis was about. Neither did I want to know. But it got chosen for me.
Okay. Were you HISted or did you volunteer? And for those who don't know what HISted is, essentially the Marine Corps, they determine people who are eligible for SDAs, right? and they're just like secondary duty assignments, right?
Yep.
So either being a recruiter or being a drill instructor, MSG now, combat instructor. So if they hissed you, it's like the Marine Corps saying, hey, you're going to submit a package to either become one of these if we need you, right? So were you hissed or did you volunteer ahead of time?
So I actually volunteered. I tried to take a proactive step and not have the Marine Corps tell me what to do versus me just being kind of like an overachiever and going out and seeking those things. So I volunteered.
Did you get the bonus, or was there a bonus? Like, what made you?
Yeah, so exactly how much the bonus was, but there was a bonus. So it was definitely appeasing. The St. Louis part wasn't so much appeasing. I was actually stressed out. I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna do this. How am I gonna move my family to this place? Like, you hear what you hear about St. Louis, and it's like, yeah, no, I don't want that. That's not the American dream that I see in my future. But I had to do what I had to do.
No, that's valid, right?
Yeah.
You don't really get much of a say at that point.
Yeah.
And then by then you already had 2 kids,
Yep.
or was it just still your
It was
oldest?
2.
Okay.
Yep.
So yeah, at that point you're committed.
Yep.
Say once you have kids in the military, you're already
So
bound.
man, I didn't believe that. Each time I still don't believe that. I'm like, nah, I can get out. I can get out there now.
All right. So going back, right, to recruiting, what is something that you wish you would have known prior to going to recruiting?
I wouldn't say there's really anything that I wish I would have known. I was fortunate enough to have, while I was still in the fleet, I had recruiters, like staff NCOs, like people that had already been recruiters and came back to the fleet. I had them to pour a lot into me, and some people don't get that. So I think I was fortunate enough to have those individuals pour into me about the rigors, the challenges, the ups, the downs of recruiting duty. So I was aware prior to going into recruiting duty.
Definitely. I think anyone in the military can vouch that different billets have different challenges,
Yeah.
right? So recruiting has its own separate challenges. Out of your whole career though, what would you say has been the most challenging thing that you've had to do?
I think that's a two-sided thing. So me, I hate the cold. I feel like I might thrive in the cold, but I hate it, right? So I'm pretty sure you were there. So this was 2018, Iceland.
Yep.
I don't like the cold, man.
Trident Juncture?
Yeah, it's Trident Juncture.
Yeah.
I do not like the cold. I mean, we went on this hike. I can't remember how long it was. To me, it felt like it was forever, but it was cold. I don't like the cold.
And loose gravel.
Yes, loose gravel. Like, it was just cold, man. So I didn't really like having to maneuver through the cold. So that was probably like one of the most challenging things. But additionally, I would just say navigating the challenges that are presented when you're trying to keep a healthy like work-life balance. I think that's probably the most challenging thing for me.
Okay. Now you bring up work-life balance. Most people think work-life balance is how do you make it 50-50?
Yeah.
It's never going to be 50-50, right? Like
No.
at times you're doing 80-20.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that. How have you then been able to make that work-life balance? What does that look like for you?
So what I'll say is, like, kind of like you said, it's super cliche when we think about work-life balance, but it's never just cut and dry. But one of the things that I've been able to do is make it possible for me to be the best that I can be, a specific given of time or moment of time. So you think about it, right? If you're at work, if you're doing everything that you can do at work and you're being the most productive kind of individual you can be while you're there, you open up space for you to be able to invest all of your time, all of your energy when you're focusing on those other things, i.e. the life part of that. So just being able to kind of be as proactive as I can be in one area and productive as I can be in one area, so that I can give the other area everything that I got. And it sounds super like simple, super easy. It's not. Between, being a husband, being a dad, being a Marine, being a full-time student, it gets tiring, right? And I sometimes I do run out of energy. Sometimes, me and my family, we're sitting at movie night and I'm there for the first 5 minutes, and after that I'm knocked out. So it's challenging, but the fact that I'm still like actively pursuing, this is what I want. This is how I want to manage my time. And that's probably the thing that's been most beneficial for me, is just being as productive as I can be in each area to allow time and energy for me to perform in each area accordingly.
Definitely. I hear you, man. Biggest thing I took away is that it's still a work in progress.
Yeah.
Right? Like you said, you're still developing it.
Yeah.
When did you join again?
2015. So October 2015.
Okay, so 2015. Are you familiar with like the little iceberg photo, right? Where everyone talks about success, right? And that's like the tip of the iceberg that you see, but no one talks about what got to that point, right? Yeah. I'm going to ask you a harder question, right?
Okay.
If work-life balance is that tip of that iceberg and being able to, you know, be there for your family, what then has made that tip, right? So like, by that I mean, right? What are some of the times that you felt like you failed your family with that work-life balance?
Yeah. So when I think the first time was when I left for recruiting school. Recruiting school is 3 months, as you know. And at the time I was stationed in North Carolina. So I had to travel to California in order to attend recruiting school. So my second son, he had been 1, I think, like maybe, you know, somewhere between like 14 months or so.
Yeah.
And he absolutely, like, I didn't realize it, right? But my wife told me, she was like, he would look at your picture and he would be like super upset with you to the point to where he would take his little Nerf gun, man, and he would shoot at the picture.
Damn.
And that was, to me, that was like, you know, it's kind of like funny, you know, a kid did that. But what it did to me per se is it made me realize like dang, like even at that age, even, you know, his brain was nowhere near, you know, where it is today. Like, who's to know? Like, he knew what left and right was, you know what I mean? So to know that that's what I have looking up to me, that's, you know, who needs me, right? And for me to, that kind of like made it clear in my eyes that like, hey, you know, when you're doing these things and when you're going to these places, like, you can't take it lightly. And although you're away, you still have to maintain, you know, those relationships, because there's people that's counting on you. There's people that's depending on you. There's people that love you and need you. So that was kind of like the first, like, I guess, motivation, you could say, for me to like be able to effectively prioritize like the work-life balance, right? Because yeah, I have to leave. I'm a Marine. That's, sometimes we have to go, right? And at the end of the day, we all signed the contract. We all knew that there was going to be a time to where we were called upon and we have to go and do things. Not as serious. I was at recruiting school, but like, I have to leave. So how do I effectively leave, but still let my kids know like, hey, I'm leaving because I care about you and I love you. So I have to go and do these things, but make no mistake, you're still my boy. You're still my baby. Like, you're still my kid. I love you. So,
well, thank you. I think it's very important, right, to have that work life, but you being able to see that already at 1 year old, right, 1.5, that's like affecting them.
Yeah.
I can't relate, right? I don't have any children, but I'm sure when that time comes, I'll feel something similar, right? Yeah. But let's go back to, you know, building that priority, right? So your priority, that the tip of the iceberg was work-life balance, right? Yeah. At that point, right, when you mentioned your son and everything, you've already known that work-life balance is important to you. Yep. It's important to your family. What led, though, to you understanding that work-life balance is really important? What was like one of the first things that caught your attention or that got you to think like, I really need to manage my work-life balance?
Okay. Probably when my wife told me like, hey, you work too much. And it's like, yeah, I work too much because I'm trying to provide for my family, right? But I'm a super, like, I read into things a lot. I digest things because I want to see it from your perspective, right? I want to make sure that I'm the kind of individual, like, though I'm confident enough to not care about how you feel about me, at the same time, I'm going to consider it. Because maybe, especially for those you love, like, maybe the way I'm coming off is not necessarily how I want to come off. And some can call it, you know, impressionable.
Yeah.
I can agree. Yes, I'm impressionable to those I love because we're always changing. We're developing as individuals. I think there was a statistic to where it's like, specifically in a marriage, you're married to a new individual like every 5 years or so.
Yeah, I've heard that.
So it's like, if that's the case and I want to stay married to you, like, okay, maybe I do need to do some self-reflection and change some things. And that was that was probably one of the like building factors, like, hey, like maybe I need to learn how to prioritize things.
Yeah. Well, being in the military, you hear about divorces,
Yeah.
etc. a lot, right? A lot of the common factors, this isn't the same person I married, right? Or it's just not working and we can't do this. Would you say then the fear of letting her down kind of motivated you to really prioritize that work-life balance? Or not necessarily her, right? But like letting down your family.
Yeah, I would say statistics is a driving factor in that. You look at, you know, Black men, you look at military men, you look at, you know, certain economical standings, like you look at all of those things. And me personally, like, though I'm not driven by statistics, I don't want my family to have to live their life that is by statistics. I guess that's kind of weird wording, but if we weren't to succeed, right, in the marriage, in raising the family, at that point we would be a statistic, and, you know, we'd probably be fine. But the fact that we are moving in that realm, like I'm a Black man, dude. It's like, you know, there's already certain perceptions, right? And I'm also keen to breaking barriers and breaking certain like generational things that bind, you know, family. So I don't want that for my family. I want my boys and my little girl to be able to say, like, you know, oh, my mom and dad are coming to my senior night, or, you know, my mom and dad is dropping me off at my first day of college, like that kind of thing. And I think it's important to one's upbringing. Does it make or break an individual? No, man. Like, I come from a single parent household, so I don't think that, if anything, it should drive one even more. Now that I've come from a single parent household, I just don't want that for my kids.
Yeah. 100%, man. I agree with you, right? I grew up as well as single mother type of household. And what you're saying, I think many people can relate to that, right? Thus, essentially, then it sounds like what's been your driving factor is like to break that generational curse, right? And not be a statistic, not have your family have to think like, hey, we fall into that category, right? Because you kind of had to fall into that as well growing up. So we're circling back to recruiting, right? I think recruiting is a challenging beast that not many people know about. Give me your opinion on recruiting, specifically Marine Corps recruiting.
So recruiting duty, man, a lot of my success in the past 4 years has been accredited to recruiting duty, right? And that's going to sound really cliche here in the next couple of minutes, okay? Or it's not cliche, but contrary to what I just said. So I would say recruiting duty is a part of my stitching to the Marine that I am today. Like I said before, ups and downs. Yet, you know, one of the things that we hone on in the Marine Corps specifically is resiliency, right? And that term alone, like, people can't really tie a certain act or a certain thing or a certain skill to resiliency. It's hard to. Right? When we think about it, it's like, okay, being able to bounce back from adversity, being able to bounce back from certain challenges that are, you know, that come up. Okay, a challenge could be jumping over a log. A challenge can be about to die, like laying in your deathbed and coming back. A challenge can be going left instead of going right, right? So it's very broad. However, I would say that's been, like, again, the hallmark of my career and who I am. As a person, a Marine, a father, husband, like, it's literally shaped me into who I am today.
Then what is it? What about recruiting then shaped you into who you are?
So recruiting duty, for those that don't know, it's an insane grind, right? And I think it's important for individuals, or Marines specifically, to go and do some kind of SDA early in your career, right? Because the older you get, things change, life 100%. Changes, right? But when you're younger, you're able to adapt. You're able to go to certain lengths that you may just not be able to do when you're a little bit older. For me, I went on recruiting duty in 2021, like early 2021. And I came off of recruiting duty like midway through 2022. So for those that know, typical recruiting duty tour is 36 months long, right?
Yep.
Simple math. I didn't do the
yeah.
entire 36 months. So I was relieved from recruiting duty for pretty much an administrative discrepancy, I guess I can say. And I won't divulge too much into it, but it was administrative in nature. But that was the first time that I had ever been in trouble in my career.
Yeah.
I didn't really, at the time, man, I didn't really know like which way to go, what to do. Again, I did what anyone would do in a challenging situation. I reached out to those that I knew that had been in the Marine Corps longer than I was and had maybe some things to offer in regards to navigating that time. But more importantly, I had this one individual, Michael Wolf. He's retired. He's out of the Marine Corps now. But the most key advice he gave me was, hey, man, love on your family. I was like, yo, I'm going through, like, this is serious. Like, this is my career. Like, this is how I feed my family. He was like, yeah, I got that. It's like, do you believe in God? I was like, I absolutely do. God will work it out. Love on your family. That single moment probably helped me more than I can admit, because recruiting duty, after recruiting duty, before recruiting duty, like, my family was there, right? It made it possible for me to navigate that time, but it also made it possible for me to continue to build and to hone on that work-life balance.
Yeah.
And so that was definitely key for me at that time. So yeah, that was a hard time, but I had a lot of fun on recruiting duty, dude. Like, it was the one time in my Marine Corps career to where I was responsible for me. And yeah, there were certain nuances or influences to that, but I was responsible for me, and I grinded, man.
Yeah.
I put in the work. I guess some can say I fell short, right? But I put in a lot of work, and I learned a lot about myself. And I learned that, you know, hey, when it comes down to it, like, I've worked this hard before. Like, I can now say that I've worked this hard before. You know, I've done like things administratively to ensure that, like, as a staff NCO with the Marines that I am entrusted to lead, I can, you know, lead them effectively. And what I mean by that is, like, whenever you're having to go out and you're having to, you know, find the nation's best and brightest and make it possible for them to see the line from who they are today to who they could be in 3 months. That grind, that hustle to do that for an individual, it made me realize a lot. And doing it over and over and over again, and the challenges that come with that. Today, I'm like, okay, cool. What do we got? Hey, we have this, you know, exercise coming up, or we're getting ready to do this. Like, this is all the things that we need to accomplish. Like, this is a lot. How do we go about accomplishing this? And I'm like, okay, so let's take it one step at a time. Let's do this. Okay, once we got this, let's move on to the next step. Let's do this. Similar to recruiting duty, like, that's how the grind is whenever you're going out and finding each individual. And I don't think that I would be as driven today if I had not experienced recruiting duty.
I agree 100%. You actually said so many things that I want to kind of like circle back on, right? And double tap, because I think there is a lot of like meaning behind what you said, right? First thing, what that retired, was it Master Sergeant you said?
Yeah.
Told you, love on your family.
Yeah.
I think that's like great. Not only great for someone with a family, but someone that doesn't have a family, right? Love on your friends, love on the people that support you. Because it's very easy, right? When you're in the spotlight, right? Whether you're facing legal trouble, blah, 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 you're going through a challenge.
Yeah.
It's very easy just to have that tunnel vision, right? Because the spotlight is just pointing on you. You can't see anything else around it.
Yep.
So loving on those people next to you, right? Kind of let you feel like, you know what? Like, yes, this is going on, but that's not all that's going on.
Yeah.
Right. And then especially for you being that work-life balance, like your family has been so important to you. Recruiting is easy to like grind and kind of forget, right? Because you're just focused on the grind.
Yep.
So him telling you that is definitely like a, hey, reminder, your family's still there.
Yep.
And I think that's really probably was like a big turning moment, right?
Yeah.
That was the first thing, right? I wanted to tap on. Second thing, I agree though with you on recruiting was so impactful on my career. Me going out there, I was single, right?
Yeah.
So I was very much focused on, I'm willing to put in the grind because I want the accolades for me.
Yeah.
Right. It was very simple. Me, grind, right?
Yeah.
I had that luxury, right? I didn't have a family at home to deal with or anything like that. But one of the biggest things I would say recruiting taught me was the work ethic.
Yeah.
And then also communication. I think what you mentioned, where getting people from point A to point B is not just like, hey, fill out the paperwork. It's like changing the mind, right? Their mindset. 9 times out of 10, the people you meet are going to tell you no, right? Like, I'm not going to join the Marine Corps. Why? Why is it? It's always like some mental barrier, right? Like it's too hard, or I never thought about it because of X, Y, and Z. I think being able to learn how to essentially convince someone to actually believe in themselves is what, like, one of the biggest things I took away from recruiting. It sounds like the same thing with you, where you're able to now show your Marines, right? Like the why we're doing this, why we need to go to the field and set up X, Y, and Z, and not just like focus on what sucks at the moment.
Yeah. I mean, I think you said it, man. Mindset, right? The difference between who you are today and who you could be tomorrow is a change in mindset. And it sounds very simple, right? Because unlike other things, it is very simple. Yet we make it complicated, right? Because of our upbringing, because of, what we believe in, what we believe to be true, right? We make it complicated when it's a very simple task, when it's a very simple concept. Just change your mind, right? If you change your mind, you could change the world. I'm not sure who said that. Somebody said that.
Sure, quote
quoting somebody, but yeah, it was when you're able to believe in yourself, to know that you're able to accomplish certain things, or you can see yourself doing certain things, or maybe you can't see yourself doing certain things. That was probably the biggest challenge I had, to show individuals like, hey, you have it. Like, you can do it. Like, I've seen this before. And sometimes it's hard to get that across to individuals, because maybe you're the first person to tell them that. Maybe that's a part of that mental barrier that's stopping them from doing more, from being great, right? So that was definitely key. And I think you definitely pointed that out, like a change in mindset. And again, it's super easy for us to gloss right over that, or gloss right over it. But that was one of the things that I honed in on, is like, hey, like, you can do this, right? With a little bit of work. Like, this is nothing that you're not prepared for. This is nothing that you can't accomplish. Make no mistake, you're going to have to put in some work, right? It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be rainbows and sunshines on the other side of the street, but you're going to have to put in work. But we'll get you there. I'm here to help you get there. And today, in similar conversation, I do the same thing. Like, hey, I got it. You're going through these things. Hey, I got it. You're struggling with your fitness level. Hey, I got it. You're struggling, with school. Hey, I got it. You're struggling with your family. But what if you thought about it like this? When you look at it like this, you can do it. And that reinforces the individuals that I work with, and they're able to go out and accomplish certain things. But again, I wouldn't have been able to learn that had I not been on recruiting duty.
Definitely. Now, we're speaking in retrospect, right?
Yeah.
We've gone through it. We've learned these lessons, right? The years of constantly trying to not necessarily perfect, but, actually work on what's important to us. What are you telling then the person that's currently going through it, right? So now you went out on recruiting as a sergeant, right?
Yeah.
What are you telling that sergeant right now that's on recruiting duty, feels like that spotlight's on him, right? And that, he's facing something.
Yeah.
What are you going to tell him to just try to alleviate that stress?
So it's funny you bring that up, because I know quite a few people that's on recruiting duty right now. And what I can say is not much has changed, and I don't think much will change. But when it comes down to it, just understand that take in the moment that you're in, right? You literally have the chance. You're entrusted with the chance to completely change the trajectory of someone's life. And that's small, right? Some people may say that's small, but I think that's big. More often than not, human nature is for me to make you like me, and for us to be whatever relationship we have established, like, I want you to like me, right? I want you to follow me, right? I want you to do what I do. When you have the ability to take who you are and to impress that upon another individual that may not be in certain situations that you are, that may not be where they want to be in life, but you're there, right? That's a big deal, man. Like, being able to change someone's life off of just a conversation. Not only that, but having them change their mindset. It's a big deal, and don't take it for granted. Keep grinding. Tomorrow's a new day. Anything can change. I think it was, what was in recruiting school, they told us, circumstances, feelings, and goals change every 90 days.
30, 60, 90 days.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So things can change, and it's not always going to be bad. It's not always going to be a struggle. Like, there's going to be highs and lows, but this is your moment to prove who you are and to change as many people's lives as you can. Just keep grinding. That's probably the one key advice I can give. Keep grinding.
Definitely. And grinding is subjective, right?
Oh, yeah.
Everyone has a different opinion of grinding. I think what you said was great, because I think that can really reach some of the very impressionable new recruiters, right? What would you tell, though, that recruiter that's, either at the end of his or her tour, right? So they're reaching that 36, or they were in a similar situation as you, right? Where they know their tour may end a little earlier because of something that they're going through, right? What would you tell that person?
So for the person that's, completed the tour and they're getting ready to transition back to the Marine Corps, just understand that, yes, you've been away for 3 years. You've been away from the rest of the Marine Corps for 3 years. So things will be different, but don't underestimate your Marines. I feel like a old timer when I say this, or like unk when I say this, but the Marines nowadays, they're not like we were, I guess you could say. They're different, right? Because it's a different generation. But you cannot underestimate them, because I'm willing to bet they either know things that you had no idea to know, or they can do things that maybe even yourself you cannot do. So just find unique ways to challenge those individuals to meet their goals, because their goals are driven by your goals as the leader. So just keep that in mind. Like, don't underestimate them and help them. The same kind of love, care, and attention that you gave those individuals that you were molding into become who you are, literally do the same thing once you get back. And you can easily like forget that or not do that. So just treat them as if you wanted to be treated, and be that person that maybe they haven't had in their lives. Be that individual for them. And to the individual that's, maybe there's some bumps in the road that you got to face here pretty soon, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Things aren't bad always. And tomorrow morning, like, the sun will rise. The sun will come up tomorrow. So don't get too stuck in the moment. Like I said, trouble don't last always. And tomorrow's a new day.
Yeah, thank you. I think that was great, because I noticed that everything that you just mentioned, right, the advice you're given isn't just like a short, hey, keep your mouth shut, or hey, make a phone call, right? It's something like, hey, look forward, right, to after you finish where you're currently at,
yeah.
Right? You're mentioning coming back to the fleet, right? Speaking to the Marines, learning that things have changed and dealing with that, right?
Yeah.
Your experience coming back to the fleet, right? For those that don't know, you're getting off of recruiting duty 3 ways: completing your tour, RFC'd, right, removed for cause, and then good of service, right, GOS. Now, one of them can actually have like a legal impact on your career. Mostly, you would see an adverse fit rep or something. Did that happen to you?
No.
Did you receive an adverse?
No.
I
won't divulge too much into it,
right?
But I didn't.
Okay.
So I did get some administrative documentation, the instance or the incident, but no, I did not get an adverse fitness report.
That's really good,
yeah.
Right? Many of us can say, like, our careers or our specific MLS fields are only getting more and more competitive.
Yeah.
right? So sometimes it is hard to be able to bounce back. Now, as you said in the beginning, most people know recruiting is a 36-month tour.
Yeah.
When you came back to the fleet, you're checking in, right? You're getting orders, you're meeting your staff NCO, your OIC for the first time. Do you think they looked at you a little differently? Not knowing your story.
Yeah.
Initially, do you think they looked at you differently?
So I think I was fortunate. They may have. I don't know. But what I will say is my work preceded itself. And so I knew that I had to lock in. I had to put in the work because, like you said, as we look at career progression, it just gets more and more competitive. So I knew I had to lock in. I knew I had to do things that maybe other people weren't doing. So that was it. My work preceded itself. So checking in, getting a new OIC, staff NCO, because I got back to the fleet as a sergeant. The first team I got was like, hey, we're here to work. These are the things that we have to do. This is the position that you will be entrusted to fill, and we expect you to perform. And I think I did just that. And I'm sure those individuals can tell you I did just that. One of the things that I relied on the most, like I said, was the Marines. Maybe they didn't know that they had certain skills, right? But a part of me being entrusted to lead them, I channeled those skills that they had, and I kind of pulled that out from them. And they didn't even know they had it in them, but they performed, right? And when they performed, like we all performed. And that was, man, I missed that tour. That was a good one. That was a good ride, man. I had a good section. That was a good crew. We were hooking and jabbing, man, and I couldn't have chose a better place to go to after recruiting Diddy.
That's surprising, right? Yeah. To say Okinawa, right?
Yeah.
So would you say then a valid thing to tell someone is that as long as you face that adversity and then you keep grinding afterwards and let your work speak for yourself, do you think that's like a valid thing to tell someone if they're facing some sort of adversity or challenge?
Yes, I think that's a good place to start. Make no mistake, it wasn't just work that I had to perform in. I also had to perform in other areas. So just making myself more competitive, whether that was off-duty education, whether that was volunteering, I had to do a lot, right? But yeah, amongst your performance at work, increasing that, like you have to always be on your A game, right? Because when you go through adversity that maybe certain other individuals haven't been through, maybe you are evaluated differently than others. So you have to take that into account, and you have to perform. Not only that, but what are other people probably not doing? They're probably not picking up trash on the side of the highway, right? Going out and volunteering, putting in some work, going to certain little like soup kitchen events to serve food, to give back to your community, things of that nature. Okay, what are you doing personally, professionally? Okay, I'm going to school. I'm trying to, again, change my mindset so that I can be better. I can do better. I can achieve better things. All of those things, right? And then the one and last motivator for me is my family. Right? Because that can be a lot in itself. You can fill up 24 hours a day with going to work, volunteering, and going to school. You can definitely fill up 24 hours, right? So find that fine line to where, spiritually, holistically, and as it relates to just being, supportive and just giving back to your family, like those things are going to make you better. And when you are better, you can do better, and others will see that you are better.
Speaking of better, sounds like you're a better person now than you were prior to recruiting, prior to coming out here.
Yeah.
Let's say Marine Corps pushes out, the HIS list, your name is on it.
Yeah.
You have to submit a package.
Yep.
You're recruiting again. Do you think you'll be successful this time?
Yes. Right.
You would do things differently?
I don't think I would necessarily do things differently. I think I would go about it the same way I went about it the first time. I will know how to maneuver in regards to certain administrative like policies and procedures. I think that would be the only thing. But aside from that, like, I wouldn't change a thing.
Okay. You hear that, Marine Corps? And give him some orders. Hiss him. He wants to go back, second tour.
He said that, not me.
Did you happen to get the ribbon? Or
No, I did not. Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
Hey, go back and get it. No, I'm kidding.
It's
I'm kidding.
funny. It's funny because one of the things that everyone recommends is like, hey, whatever adversity you experience, right? You have to go back and do that thing. Whatever you did, like you have to go back and do it well. We're talking about recruiting today. That's 36 months. Again, I speak very highly of it, but make no mistake, like it came with challenges and it was tough. It made me who I am today, but it was tough. So going back will be again tough, but based on resiliency, I think I'll have what it takes to perform and finish it well.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I didn't have that bad of an experience. Give me $60K Marine Corps and I'll do it again. $60K? 100%. $60K bonus? Let's do it.
If they told me to, I'd do it.
Yeah. Right? Like, okay. All right. Well, with that being said, Cam, thank you for coming out.
Yeah, absolutely, dude.
Spitting some knowledge to the people at home.
Yeah.
Any save rounds that you want to provide?
Man, if you don't know, it takes a lot just navigating life, right? And then couple that with a career, and then couple that with being a father, and then couple that with being a husband, and couple that with all the other things that happen, right? It's a lot, right? I think more often than not, we don't give ourselves enough grace. And for me, my grace, like the grace that I have is given to me from God, who I believe in. I don't think I could have made it out of my diapers. I couldn't have made it out of the womb without God, right? So my advice is, as long as you believe, whether you have your own spiritual beliefs, believe in something that, someone's there to guide you. Someone's there looking out for your well-being. A lot of times we're afraid to step because we don't know if there's going to be anyone to catch us. The person that's been catching me my whole life is God. So I'm super grateful to have him in my life. Super grateful to just be here. I'm super grateful and hopeful that maybe some of the things that I've shared will be a blessing to others, and maybe, they can take it and do what they will with it to just be better. At the end of the day, I like being around better people, because when I'm around better people, I'm better, right? So if I can be that for someone, absolutely. So yeah, just keep grinding. Sometimes it sucks, but that's okay. At the end of the day, you're right where you need to be, and tomorrow is coming. Yeah.
Definitely. If any of this hits home, just understand you just need to carry on. All right. And just keep going, because it's always going to work out at the end. Before we leave, I want to remind you guys, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share our videos. It helps out a lot. Thank you.